Good morning. Myself, Dr. Sachin Ayarekar. Today, we are going to discuss about the model number 3 of human resource management, that is training and development. In an organization, training and development department is a very key department in case of employee development. This department finds out the training needs of the employees, prepare the training designs, and implement it. Not only implement it, but also sees that how the training is benefiting the employees and how their performance is increasing or growing, which will help ultimately to the organization. So that's why understanding about the concept of training and development is important for management students. The learning objectives of this session are: after completing this particular unit, you will be able to know the meaning and importance of training. You will be able to understand the process of training, and you will be also able to understand the various methods of training with its evaluation. Now we will start with the definition of training. Training is a process of sharing knowledge, imparting skill in an employee for improvement in performance, which will help organization and the employees to achieve the set goals. Training is a process. Process of what? What exactly is happening in training? Knowledge from the trainer to trainees. That knowledge sharing is there. Skills are imparted. So ultimately, employees' knowledge level are moving in the upward direction, as well as skill upliftment is also taking place. And because of these two things, updated knowledge, having advanced skill, both are helping the employees to perform best, and their performance is improving. And when their performance is improving, there is a, in the definition we have mentioned, which will help organization and employee to achieve the set goals. For employees, the goals are also set. Organization is it's having its own goals, and both these parties, employees as well as organization, will be in a position to achieve those goals. This is what the outcome of training: knowledge shared, skills imparted in employees, which will result into the improvement in performance, which will help organization and employees to achieve their goals. Training is given, not improving the performance of the employees. It is of no use. We have to find out why training failed, why our training program which we have designed is failed. Training given, employees' performance is improved, but failed to achieve the organization goal. Then in that case, we have to do the reverse engineering. Organizational goal, why failed to achieve? Who are responsible for that? Why the particular person failed? All those reverse engineering we have to do. And that's why when we are talking about the definition of the training, it's a process and its outcome is achieving the organization and employee goals. So training should contribute in achieving the goals. Training is contributing in achieving the goals. That's why training is a very vital organ of the organization nowadays. We don't know which type of people we are going to get from the market when we are going for recruitment and selection. Maybe sometimes we are not going to get people of required skill set. We have to induct and we have to develop them. How we are going to develop them? We are going to develop them by the instrument, by a tool used named as training. So in the definition of training, it's very clear. The important words are it's a process, sharing knowledge, imparting skills in an employee for improving his performance or her performance, ultimately leads to achieve the organizational and employee goal. Now we'll move towards the next slide. The process of training. Process of training are having 5 different steps. It begins with training need analysis, finalization of training objectives. Third step is developing training design. Fourth step is training implementation. And fifth step is training evaluation. Now we will discuss all these one by one. Training need analysis, training need assessment. What is training need assessment? Training need assessment is nothing but what type of skills, knowledge is required to perform a job. And currently, the person who is performing the job, what is his knowledge and skill levels? If they are matching, no problem. If there is a mismatch, then there is a need for a training. That this particular person is good in case of report writing, but this particular same person is not good in case of handling the transactions with the help of laptop or computer. We have analyzed that, and then we are going to plan the training for that individual about computer literacy or computer proficiency. But because for how we are going to do that? With the help of training need assessment. Each and every employee in the organization will be get assessed on the basis of requirement of the knowledge, skills, competencies, and because if there is a gap, we are identified those gaps as a training needs, and we are bridging those gaps by organizing training programs to those individuals. Once we have done with the training need assessment, then we will move towards the second part, that is finalization of training objective. For what purpose we are organizing this particular, we are going to organize training program. Okay, we want to share the knowledge. What type of knowledge? What will be the level of that knowledge? Based on that, we are going to finalize the objectives of a training program. The objective should be, which we are going to finalize, should be specific as well as it should be measurable. It should be achievable. What is meant by measurable and why it is important? Because at the end, we are going to do the training evaluation. At the end, when we are going to do the training evaluation, for evaluation purpose, we will require two data sets. One data set through the questionnaire, through the feedback which we are going to receive from the employees and from the trainees and trainers. That will be one data set. And to compare with that, we will have a second data set, that is the objective which we have in the beginning of the process which we have set. We are going to compare these two data sets with each other. If these two data sets are matching, yes, our training is successful. If they are mismatched, there is some problem. And that's why when we are talking about evaluation and one data set, the one data set will be training objective, and that's why it should be specific, it should be measurable, and it should be achievable also. It should not be like that. We are going to organize a 3 day training program for all our employees who are not in a position to speak the local language. The local language may be Tamil, maybe Marathi, maybe Kannada, anyway. And after completion of this 3 day training program, they will be in position to write essays in that local language. Or they will be in position to write stories in that local language. This target, this objective is not achievable. It will require more time to get proficiency or a new language that we have to understand. And that's why when we are finalizing objectives, it should be very specific. They will objective. They will to understand the language. This is not a specific objective. But when we are writing, they will be able to understand the local language Marathi. This is called a specific objective. So when we are talking about a training objective, it should be specific, measurable, achievable. That is very important. Why? Because this data set is going to be get used at the time of training evaluation. And if this data set, that is objectives, are not proper, we will be not in a position to compare the actual feedback which we have received with the objective, and then it will not possible for us to find out the effectiveness of the training program which we have conducted for the employees. And if we are not in position to find out the effectiveness, whatever the amount which we have spent on training, its value will become big zero. And that's why when we are setting or finalizing the objective, the training and development department people, they should be very careful. After setting the objectives, we'll move towards the third step, developing the training design. Third step, developing the training design. What is training design? Training design is nothing but a structure which will be prepared by taking some important decisions. What will be those decisions? The decisions may be related to, the decisions will be related to which training method we are going to use. There are different training methods available. Plenty of training methods available nowadays. Which training method for which topic we are going to use. We are going to finalize the names of the trainers, whether the trainer is from the organization or whether he will come from outside the organization. Availability of the trainers, finalization of training material which we want to distribute amongst the trainees, location of training where we are going to do the training, whether it will be in-house training program or whether we are going to take them out to some other places where we are going to conduct the training. Some multinational companies are conducting their training programs in a resorts also nowadays. So these important decisions, as well as finalization of the training schedule, we are going to do in training design. So training design is nothing but a summation of different decisions related to operational part of training: method, trainer, place, material, schedule. So all these things are going to get covered in a training design. And while designing the training program, every now and then objective helps us. Our objective is to achieve this particular thing. Then which will be the best method? Lecture, case study, job instruction? We have to take the call. Which person trainer will be the best one? A, Mr. B, Miss C. And that's why, again, I'm repeating, objectives we have to draft very carefully. After completion of step number 3, you go to step number 4, that is training implementation. The training program, actually, we are going to implement it. Generally, in organizations, HR people are taking care of implementation part, especially training and development department employees. They will see that things are organized properly. They will ensure that trainer will come in time, will start his session in time. They will work, training and development department people will work as a silent observers. They will see that how the trainer is delivering, as well as they will see that how trainees are also responding. There is any deviation, they will try to control, which will help them to move the training program on the path which they have already set or designed. Implementation will be done. After implementation, training evaluation will be done. Feedback from the trainees, feedback from the trainer will be collected. There are different methods for that. Questionnaire method is there, survey method is there, interview method is there. With the help of that, those feedbacks will be get collected and it will compared with step number 2, the objective of training. And on the basis of that, they will claim the training program was a successful one, or there was some problem in the training program. They will find out where the problem is, and again they will come up with the new training design for those trainees. So this is what about process of training, where it is having total 5 steps: training need assessment, finalization of training objectives, developing training design, training implementation, and training evaluation. Now we'll move towards the next part, that is training need analysis and techniques. This is actually the first step in the process of training. What is training need analysis? Collecting the information about training needs of the employees. Now it is not like that much easy. Directly going and asking employees which type of training you want. He may give some answers, but how much we can believe, how one can believe on those answers, that depends upon that particular circumstances. Sometimes employees may say like this: okay, I want to learn Spanish. I want training on the language Spanish. And if you are going to organize a training on Spanish, the employees will get he will achieve his goal. but maybe the goal of the organization we will not be in position to achieve. Why? Because organization don't have any plan to send that particular employee to Spain. Then why there is a need to train him for the Spanish language? That is what is important. There are three ways for that in training need analysis. First one is the organizational analysis. Second one is the task analysis. Third one is the personal analysis. Organizational analysis. In organizational analysis, we try to see the gap. We try to analyze the gap between the set objectives by the top management and actual performance of the organization. Set objectives and actual performance. Why the gap is there? Why the performance is not matching with the objectives of the organization? Because of external factors or because of internal factors? For example, external factors like government policies. Some change in government policies which created the problem for the organization, and that's why organization was not in position to achieve the targets. Okay. Or some internal problems. Internal problems like absenteeism. Internal problems like high labor turnover. Internal problems like we have enough manpower, but they don't have the skills and knowledge required to perform the job. We have to analyze the organization. We have to analyze the performance of the organization. We have to analyze the performance of each department and each sub-department. Why there is a gap? And this gap, when we will try to do this analysis, I'm very sure it will help the practitioners, training and development professionals to find out what exactly is creating problem or what is the hurdle in achieving the targets. It's employees' performance or it is something other, some other reason. And if it is employees' performance, then again the next further investigation should be carried out to find if there is a problem in skill level, knowledge level, behavioral part, where it is the problem. Absenteeism is a behavioral problem. Late coming is a behavioral problem. So we have to identify that, and organization analysis will help us. Once completing the organization analysis, we'll narrow down to task analysis. Each task will be get analyzed. What we are going to do when we are going to do the task analysis, we are going to see what is expected in this task and what is done in this task. What is expected, what type of knowledge skills is required in this particular task. And currently, what type of knowledge and skills are having with those individuals who are performing that particular task. So, when we are doing to do the task analysis, each task will require some standard format of knowledge and skill. Whether there is a gap into that, we are going to identify, and there again we are going to collect the information. Now will when we are talking about task analysis, I want to give an example for task analysis. I will take the example of a driver, a task analysis. He is a good driver, safe driver, always going with the speed limit, no overspeeding, maintaining his vehicle properly. But not setting the left and right mirror properly. And that's why while driving he is not able to see the vehicles which are coming from the backside, and that led to accident. Now when we are going to do the task analysis, driving skill important, how you maintain the vehicle, that is important. At the same time, a good driver should know how to set the left and right mirror as well as the central mirror. The mirrors are there to help the driver, but somehow he is not setting it properly, and that's why the accident took place. So task analysis is going to tell us, okay, for this particular task, knowledge is this, skill is this, okay, this person is having. For this particular task, knowledge level should be this, skill level should be this person don't have. Task analysis also gives us important information about the training needs. Once we are going to complete the task analysis, the third analysis will be there, that is personal analysis, individual analysis, employees analysis, skills he is having, knowledge he is having. At the same time, we are going to see that how he is receptive about the training, whether he is positive about learning, whether he is negative about the learning. If an employee is positive, definitely the training program which we are organizing, through that he will get benefited, he will get knowledge, he will get skills, he will upgrade his competencies. But he is not positive, then even though we are going to bring the best of the trainers from the different parts of the world, and so we are going to spend enormous amount, big amount on them, still he is not going to be in position to learn. Why? Because of the negativity. Personal analysis, employee analysis is also going to give us a very important and significant information. All this information we are going to club, we are going to do the analysis. Definitely we will get two important outcome. One, we are going to get the needs, as well as, in another words, those needs are nothing but training topics, as well as we are going to get the names of the trainees. So training need analysis process having three important stages: organizational analysis, task analysis, personal analysis. And the outcome of this particular process is we will have a training topics, training needs of an individual in one hand, as well as these needs of which individuals, though their names is also be there in our hand. So in one hand we have the list of training topics, and on another hand we will have a list of trainees to whom we want to train. This is a training need analysis. Sometimes we will get the results like this also. After this, okay, these are the skills and knowledge sets are required. These are the individuals who are having it. So in that case, there is no need of any action. And we have to accept that, and we should stop the process there. Because we are conducting training need analysis, so now we have conducted it, so we have to design a training program. No need. If there is a need, then design. If there is no need, don't design, and don't waste the money of the organization, because training, again I am repeating, is a costly affair. Now moving towards the next part, there are different training methods. There are on-the-job training methods and off-the-job training methods. Now, when we are talking about on-the-job training methods, training methods are broadly divided into on-the-job and off-the-job. What is on-the-job training methods? Training will be given to the trainee at his workplace on the job. If he is working, suppose in an office, training will be given at his workplace. Suppose an individual is working in assembly line, training will be given at assembly line at his workplace. This is called as on-the-job training. And there are 5 different methods available for that. First method is the job instruction training, JIT, where the trainer will go to the place where the trainees are, and he is going to teach them how to perform a particular task. He will tell like this, okay, task is this task consists of 5 different steps. Trainer will first perform step number 1, then step number 2, step number 3, step number 4, step number 5. Then he is going to call trainees. Trainees will observe that. And then he is going to call one by one each trainee, and he is going to ask them to perform 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 steps. Trainer is going to observe each and every trainee, how they are performing this particular task. If they are performing well, up to the mark, no problem. If there is some problem in step number 3 or step number 5, repetitions will be done. More practical will be done, so that all trainees will get mastery over step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, step number 4, and step number 5. This is called as job instruction method, which gives us assurance that proper transfer of training, proper transfer of knowledge, proper transfer of skills will be done. So it will help trainees to learn quickly and so. And that's why job instruction method is an important method. Then we will move towards the second method, that is coaching. Again, coaching will be done at the workplace of the trainees. For a particular problem, we are going to appoint a trainer, and trainer is going to be there at the workplace of that particular trainee, and he is going to guide the trainee about resolving that particular problem. Suppose trainees are not, that employee is not knowing about repairing of a particular machine. A coach will go there, and he will, with the help of the trainee, he will show how to repair the machine. And once the trainee or the employee is in position to repair the machine independently, the coach will go on. So coaching, a short-term duration guidance will be there for a trainee. So that guidance will definitely help the individual. After coaching, the mentoring is there. Mentoring is a little bit for long duration process. We want our senior manager should be, in coming 1 year, we want to promote him for the position of vice president marketing, and we have selected mentoring. So one of the senior person from the marketing of PP level is going to mentor that candidate, that employee to whom we want to promote after 1 year to the position of vice president marketing. So mentoring will be done by considering what type of knowledge and what type of skills are required for the VP marketing position. Basically the decision making, basically the analytical skills, and through mentoring the individual will learn from his senior, and he will become prepared for accepting the new role of vice president of marketing after 1 year. So mentoring is a continuous process, is a little bit long process, is a long method. After mentoring, then committee assignments. Different members from different departments are coming together and solving one problem. It's a very classic way of learning. We are putting people into that committee. They are observing how others are discussing about that problem, how they are doing the analytics about that problem, how they are finding out the multiple solution about that problem, how they are comparing solutions with each other, and how they are finalizing the best solution, and how they are preparing the implementation plan for that particular solution, how they are keeping the plan B ready if this plan fails. So all these things person will learn from committee assignments. So we are observing, identifying trainees, and we are putting them into committee assignments. And through that, they are learning. After committee assignments, then the last part is the job rotation. Person will go to different profiles, job profile locations, and where he is going to learn about that particular job. Now we'll take an example. A person working in recruitment department. Okay, we want that he should learn about training. We want to shift him in training. So he's coming and in training and development department for some days, and he is learning how the functioning of the training and development department. This is called as job rotation method. This is also an effective training method. So on the job training methods are job instruction, coaching, mentoring, committee assignments, and job rotations. Now I'll move towards the next part, that is of the job training method. Of the job training methods, training will be given to trainees not at their workplace. Training will be given away from their workplace. This is called as of the job training methods. And for that also, we have 5 different methods available currently: lecture method, case study method, role play method, vestibule training, conferences and seminar. Other methods are also available, but these 5 methods are prominent methods. First, lecture method. We all know what is meant by lecture method. Trainer, they will be taken to a classroom. Trainer will be there. Trainees will sit in front of the trainer with the help of PPT, with the help of other devices. Trainer is going to give the lecture to the trainees, and trainees are going to understand those concepts, and they are going to learn from that. This is what the lecture method is. Still, majority of the times organizations are using this method, lecture method. It's the advantage of this method is that you can train more number of trainees at one place at one time. But nowadays, concentration span of human beings day by day is decreasing. So it is very challengeable for a trainer to keep trainees inside the training hall for a longer duration of time. Physically they will be there, mentally they will roam everywhere. And that's why it is a challenging thing nowadays, lecture method. Then the second method is the case study method. Basically, case study method is useful to develop the analytical skills of an individual. Case will be given, discussions will be there, opportunities will be given to the trainees to find out the different dimensions and angles involved in the particular case, and trainer will help them to identify the solutions. Then trainees will come and they will present it, discussions will again be there. Through that, trainees will have an important gain, and that important gain is how to think, how to see a problem. Only one facet is not going to help us. How to see all facets of the problem. How to develop a solution. How to find out the solution. So all these things will be learned, as well as it will help the participants' decision making skill. And that's why case study method is one of the best method, especially to train the managerial people. This is a very important and very classic. Third one is the role play method, where trainer is going to explain the roles to different individuals. They will understand as per their capability, and they will present that role. They will perform that role. Participants will observe it. Based on that, discussions will be there, and then what is correct, the trainees will understand from that. It is one of the very important effective way of teaching, which will help, which will benefit the trainees. After role playing, then the vestibule training method. Creating the same working condition in a room, and we are going in that room we are going to train the trainees. It is a very costly method, because creating the same type of environment in a room, it required a lot of money, and that's why it's a costly method. But the advantage of this method is that because you are creating the same thing in a room, trainees will get the feel of actual working environment, as well as they will get enough opportunity to practice, and practice makes man perfect. So trainees they will get perfect in that particular task and activity while they will leave the training hall. But it is a costly method. Last one is the conferences and seminar, where trainees are less in numbers. This particular method can be used, because conferences and seminar you have to pay the money for registration, stay, and accommodation, other things. But organizations, especially some professional bodies as well as educational organizations like universities and institutes, they are organizing conferences and seminars where brainstorming is taking place. People are coming with their ideas and presenting in the form of research papers. Through that, trainees can learn about that particular concept. And that knowledge which they are taking, they can utilize for their organization. So conferences and seminar is another way of training people. But this method is useful when the trainees are less in number, like 1, 2, 3. Then conferences and seminars, these methods will be an effective one. So methods of training, of the job training methods: lecture method, case study method, role play method, vestibule training, conferences and seminars. Now we'll move towards the next slide, training evaluation. Now this is a very, very important part of training again. Training requires money. Organizations pours money in training. Now everyone from the organization, especially the top brass, they want to know what happened with the money which we have given, whether it benefited, the investment benefited our employees, whether that investment benefited our organization or not. That they want to know. That's why training evaluation is important. First data set for comparison is available with us. That is the objectives which we have set for the training program. Now second data set which we are going to get from the trainees as well as the trainer. First point into that is reaction. Reaction of trainees, opinions about of trainees about different activities conducted in that training program. It may be feedback about the particular trainer. Trainer's communication skill rate 1 to 5. 1 is poor, 5 is maximum, best. So reactions of trainees about the activities which we have conducted in the training program. We can design a feedback form we can do the interviews of the trainees, and through that we can collect this particular information, where trainees are going to rate the activities which we have conducted. For example, training facilities, the lunch and breakfast which we have given to them, quality of that, poor, good, average. So the reaction of trainees about the different activities. Then the second part is learning. What new they have learned, trainees have learned, which they think will be helpful for their day-to-day job which they are performing in the organization. That is the second type of information which we want from the trainees. New learnings which is taking place. Otherwise, we may get a feedback like this. What new learning? We are asking to one trainee and he is saying, no new learning. I was already knowing all these concepts. I was already knowing how to operate how to use this particular technology. That means if the particular trainee is knowing all these things, then why we have put that individual into this particular training group and conducted training program for him? It's a loss for organization. But when we are going to do the searching why it happened, investigation part, then it will go back to the training need analysis. The training need analysis about this individual which we have conducted, that was wrong. It was not a correct thing. We have got wrong information while doing the training need analysis. That's why we have included his name in training, and at the end of the training he's saying, I was knowing all these things. So in that case, if we have done it properly, training need analysis, then we will not include him. We have not included him. We have included a person who needs this particular training, who are in need of this particular training. Learning. Then the behavior part. How their performance is improved. How they are attentive now. Whether their absenteeism number is going down or not. How they are behaving with the peer team members. Training evaluation. And last part is the return on investment. Money invested for each trainee for a particular training program, and what now he is delivering in return to the organization. Cost of that. What probable he will give to the organization. Cost of that. Compare it. That is what the return on investment, because training needs money. So when we are talking about training evaluation, we have to consider these four dimensions: reaction, trainees' opinion about the different activities which we have conducted under that training program, learning, what new trainees have learned, behavior, how much their behavior is improved and performance is improved, and return on investment. So these are the four important angles of training evaluation. We have, in today's session, we have covered what is meant by training. Then we have covered about training process. Then we have discussed about training need analysis. We have also discussed about different methods of training, on-the-job methods and off-the-job methods. And lastly, we have discussed about training evaluation. Reaction, learning, behavior, return on investment. Thank you.